Hey everyone, it's Kay. Kiana has recently been announced as version 8.1's new S rank, a Fire Stardust type battlesuit named Fiery Wishing Star that uses pistols. This video is going to be centered around my first impressions playing her Odyssey and beta server, showcasing gameplay and a very brief rundown of her mechanics, with more complete guide which will come out when she's officially released for the global servers. Do note that any and all information discussed in the video is subject to change, since it's being based off content in the Chinese version of the beta. With all that out of the way, let's get into the video. Kiana is under the Astral Ring specialization Law of Ascension, meaning that her playstyle revolves around sharing field time with her teammates and casting Stellar Shift attacks during Stellar Outburst. As a Stardust type unit, she also has several abilities that allow her to deal with their mechanics, including Stardust Flash, allowing her to collect Stardust fragments with ease. She also has a beater that is filled by performing basic attacks and her weapon skill, and she can perform a special weapon combo once that meter is maxed. Kiana is also able to link enemies and force them to transfer damage from her and her teammates to each other, making her great for mobbing stages or bosses with several enemies. As for her supporting capabilities, Kiana is able to support Valkyries under the World Star and Law of Ascension attributes, with her ability to trigger Resonance Anchors for the former and contribute damage with her Stellar Shift for the latter. She also has an unknown ability locked behind an Astral Ring specialization set to release in future, meaning that she should stay relevant for quite a while. While this video was made using CN beta findings, meaning it's slightly different from how she will perform when she officially releases, I find Kiana to be a very strong unit with only a few small problems to keep in mind. Before going into that, I want to point out that performance-wise, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. Her personal damage is significantly high, not just as a DPS but also as a support, meaning that she contributes a lot of damage on top of her already existing buffs when taking a supporting role. She also doesn't seem to be very reliant on ranks, with a lot of them focusing specifically on Stardust type enemies, though her S3 and SS rank upgrades, obtainable with a second duplicate of her, so 2 extra copies, do seem more significant than the others. It's not very important though, and not at all necessary, but if you're interested in vertical investment or if you simply like her, I'd say SS is a good stopping point. With that said, there are some small problems, mostly regarding team building, one of which is a big catch to her personal damage as a DPS. Specifically, since Kiana is a Law of Ascension unit, she really needs teammates with a Heavenly Shift tag to support her. Missing even one makes you lose out on an entire Stellar Shift attack for every Stellar Outburst that you do, and it also makes rotations a lot clunkier. To be fair, this isn't an issue specific to her, since all Law of Ascension Valkyries will act the same way, but it's definitely worth mentioning. Kiana also doesn't have any attack that can inflict Stardust Detonation. This means that she can't immediately break a Stardust enemy's threshold and force them into consolidated state on her own. In case you're not familiar, Stardust enemies have a normal HP bar at first in their embodied state, and when it's damaged to a certain point, they drop Stardust fragments and switch to a special HP bar which is basically the max HP. Depleting this HP bar then destroys the enemy immediately. Doing all that manually is time consuming, so Kiana relies on teammates to do the job for her. Currently, the only unit with the ability to do this is Jovial Deception Shadow Dimmer, and she's very strong as a support for Kiana when going up against Stardust enemies. Not having her means you're kinda out of luck, especially if the critical point is at the 50% point of an enemy's HP bar or even lower. Obviously, this is just me nitpicking, and unless you're a really new player, you should have at least 2 Valkyries able to support Kiana. While JDS is very strong against Stardust enemies, Kiana also has quite a few fire bosses too where she's not needed. As for whether you should pull her or not, while it's still way too early to actually make any decisions, she definitely seems very strong. As this year's Chinese New Year Valkyrie, it's also very likely that she will remain relevant for quite a while. With the amount of rewards we're expecting to see in 8.1, I don't really see a reason to skip her. That's it for my early impressions on Kiana. I'm planning to cover Alicia's new Divine Key in a separate video, as well as in-depth guides on both of them closer to the global release. If there's anything I want to add, they'll be in a pinned comment, which is likely considering how she's not even out yet. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.